By the end of this video, you are going to learn how to become mentally unbreakable so that no matter how crazy life gets, nothing will break you. Or at the very least, you begin to develop a stronger mindset and not fall apart every time you have a minor inconvenience. If you conquer your inner thoughts, you will become like a freak of nature. Nothing anyone does is going to bother you anymore and nothing's going to hurt you. Hi, I'm May. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're looking to improve yourself and master your mind, thumbs up this video so you see more like these ones, and subscribe to my channel if you like my vibe. So let's get back into it. Number one, accept your negative emotions. It's okay to have doubts and fears and insecurities. Self-doubt is a very natural part of the human experience, and there will always come along something that will be painful or hurtful. Everyone experiences this because isn't being able to feel and process emotions in the first place actually a beautiful thing? You don't have to suffer. The suffering part is actually optional. It only sucks because we resist it, so embrace the suck. In fact, I think fearing it makes it even worse. As long as deep down you know it's all part of being a person and everyone goes through it. Being sad or angry and scared actually becomes not that terrible when you think of it like that. You have no problems until you decide to make it a problem. So try to do this. Learn to embrace it, accept it, and change the narrative. Let these negative emotions fuel your goals instead and your determination. Like if you're scared of confronting something, you need to reframe it. Like, okay, I'm scared of this thing, but I accept that I'm scared. So with that in mind, what am I going to do about it now? Use that energy instead and redirect it towards motivation and fuel your goals. Number two, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Every failure is a new chance for you to grow. So there is no use being a victim with a defeatist mindset or to walk around feeling sorry with a victim complex. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? What is anyone supposed to do with that? If something bad happens to you, sure, yes, you can feel sorry for yourself for a minute and people feel sorry for you. But if you keep moping around all day and thinking how unfair life is and being negative all the time, nobody is coming to save you until you decide to pick yourself back up. So if something bad happens and someone said something to you that upset you, what can you learn from it? Every setback is a chance to learn, adapt, and come back stronger. I personally believe that every person is in our life for a reason, even if they're just there to bully us or to ruin our life. I really believe this. There is not one person I have a significant interaction with who didn't teach me a lesson. And I realized this, that if you don't learn that lesson the first time, the universe is going to keep putting the same type of person into your life to teach you that same lesson until you learn. And if you don't learn that lesson, you literally become a perpetual victim. For example, I had many terrible bosses ranging from just bad managers to total tyrants. They were all lessons in setting boundaries and knowing how much my work is worth. I kept not learning that lesson for the longest time. So I got taught the same lesson over and over again with different bosses, until I was like, wait, that's not right. I need boundaries. So you need to ask yourself, do you want to continue to be a victim and telling everyone in your life how you keep getting bad bosses all the time? Or do you just want to accept the lesson, learn from it, and stop being a victim? You need to remember, the same kind of person keeps showing up in your life. That is not by chance. In one way or another, you keep attracting that same kind of energy. And if you want to learn more about attraction and magnetism, you can watch my video that I made about that. I'll link it somewhere. Number three, don't fear being alone. Solitude is actually a superpower. One thing I realized about being lonely is that you can be very lonely, even when you're surrounded by people, even when you're super busy all the time. But if you're okay with being alone, you can be by yourself and have no friends and nobody around you, but you don't feel lonely. There is a huge difference. Being alone may not be something that everyone can handle because a lot of people actually are afraid to be with themselves. So they literally keep attracting themselves to people who may not be good for them. And I realized this really painful lesson when I personally went through that. And I realized it's because these people actually don't want the self-discovery. As a result, they don't know what they actually deserve. They become docile and small, and most people never wake wake up from going through the motions of everyday routines and everyday life until one day they wake up and they're old and it's too late. Well, you know what I mean. It's never too late, but they just wasted their time. So when you realize that being with yourself and spending time learning about yourself is way, way better than being swept up by other people constantly and following other people and going through their motions, your life gets so much better. When you realize it's better to be alone than to chase after people who don't actually care about you. Rather than seeking out not being lonely, which comes from a place from wanting the attachment to feel something in your heart. Instead, you should seek peace. Sometimes the people you're around, that you're surrounded by, are just not the people for you, and that's okay. That's so normal. You don't have to be like them. Normalize that. Maybe the people who are for you are somewhere else. Maybe they're even online or in some specific community. And maybe they're the ones that you don't even expect. When you're okay with being alone, you learn so much about yourself that you grow a strong sense of self. And people who are similar to you, they're going to recognize that and they're going to gravitate towards you. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're alone, be grateful for it, take the opportunity to learn about yourself, and when you get there, I promise you, you will find the people who are truly for you. Number 4, don't worry about things you can't control. Instead, focus on what you can control. This is a big one, I think, because control is an illusion. You can't actually control anything except for yourself. And I think that the people who keep having the urge to control the situation and micromanage things, they end up learning this through lessons, or they already know this, but maybe they keep denying themselves. And the thing is, nobody welcomes being controlled. I think it's natural to want that control because we want to know what the outcome is and we want things to go our way. It's so natural. But you need to trust that things will fall into place. So I have here this lovely circle of control that you can screenshot if you want. This is exactly what I mean. What's in that circle are things that you can control, and what's not are the things that you can't. So focus only on what you can control inside that circle and let go of everything outside of it. Number 5, don't stress the past. Be in the here and the now. The present is the only place we can be in, technically, because the past is no longer real and the future is not real yet. I can tell you so many times I look forward to going on a trip, like to go to Japan or whatever, and I look forward to it so much. I'm thinking about it for months. But then when I actually get there, I can't even enjoy myself because I'm thinking about going back to the States. I'm thinking about being somewhere else. I'm not present. And there's also just no use focusing on the past because the past that happened, it can never be changed. And the more we think about the past, the more we ruminate on it, the more distorted it gets, and the more time we waste, honestly. Because every time we think about the past, we start bringing in our present feelings about it to try and change the narrative. So in this sense, yes, although technically you can change your perception of the past, honestly, the best thing we can do with our time right now is to learn our lessons from it and honestly just move on and think about how we can do better now for ourselves, for our present lives now. Number 6, don't resent other people's successes. I think that we are jealous of other people and we compare a lot because we want what they have. But it's also a really limiting mindset because you never know if they might actually want what you have. And the thing about people having things is that you never know how these things came about, what they had to do to get them, how much hard work they put in, or maybe they were just born with it and they were lucky in a certain aspect of their lives, but then there are other aspects of their lives that you're never going to be able to see because everyone is living their own lives. And I think that being jealous or jealousy really comes from a mindset of lacking, and it's just an additional layer of suffering on top of whatever it is you're already dealing with. So because what other people have is yet another thing that you can't control, but you can control your reaction to it. So if you reframe the mindset to be happy for other people instead, so that you're going to live in the abundance mindset where there's plenty to go around for everyone. You need to really believe this. We truly live in a positive sum world. So Instead of focusing on other people and what they have, focus on yourself and what you have and what you can do to get what they have. And use that as inspiration and motivation. Think about how you can get more of it or work to get what you lack. Whenever I feel jealousy, I reframe that mindset to make it more about how I can be inspired and motivated. So whatever or whoever it is I'm jealous of, they inspire me, like, oh, I didn't know I wanted that, but now I do, and I'm going to get it. Number 7, life doesn't owe you anything, and nobody owes you anything. I literally mean nobody. In fact, nobody is entitled to anything at any point, and it doesn't matter how long we've been doing it. The minute we think that we're entitled to something is the minute we set ourselves up for disappointment. Just don't expect anything, and anything that we get in return is a nice bonus. I think people do have the mentality like, oh, I've been doing this thing for a long time now, and I've worked so hard, I should be getting my dues. That's not true at all. The sooner you accept that it's actually not always about hard work, but it's rather that maybe your strategy is wrong, and you're either not getting the right results that you want, or the right audience. So the sooner you actually get to work on the strategy and your brand positioning, the sooner you're going to see more results. Number 8, don't be afraid of responsibility. This is why they say the price of greatness is responsibility. So if you want to be really great, you need to be accountable for all of your actions, which also includes your lack of action. Your word is so important. Nobody else is responsible for you except yourself. So if you run away from your responsibility, then you're just running away from your own growth as a person. If you say you're going to do something, you better do it and not betray yourself and your own word. The thing is, you need to trust yourself to have the discipline to be responsible and do the thing. Do the work. The only way to build trust with yourself and not feel feelings of self-doubt is to constantly and consistently prove to yourself that you have the discipline to not betray yourself. And the more you can prove to yourself that you can do the things that you want to do, the more you can trust that you're responsible for even bigger things. And then only then you can take on even bigger responsibilities and not feel scared about it. Number 9, don't worry about what other people think. Literally, don't give an F about what other people might say or might do when they think about what you're doing. If I cared at all about what other people thought about me, I would never have started a YouTube channel or even started anything or did anything brave. Then I would just go on my entire life just worrying about what would other people think of me and be nothing. I made a video about how the secret to going all in to do the thing is to constantly keep embarrassing yourself, and to be cringe is to be free. If you haven't watched that yet, check it out. I'll link it somewhere. Most people are really just focused on themselves, including us, which is why we think that everyone's judging us and they have their eyes on us, when really it's just us judging ourselves. Nobody cares about you as much as you care about you. And most people who see you and your work will probably just be like, oh, okay, and just move on with their lives. Even if they do say something, just let them. Don't feel the need to control situations because you can't control things, right? Who cares? Literally no one, except you. So don't let yourself hold you back from your potential. Number 10, don't give up. I know it sounds so cheesy to say never give up, but seriously, most people give up too early and usually right before they see success. Persistence is so important. Even when you are manifesting something, you only realize it when you keep persisting with the end goal in mind and you keep working towards it while already living at the goalpost. So think about it this way. If you want a pair of shoes and you buy it online, it's taking a while to ship and you don't have the tracking number. 5 days later, you get frustrated and you cancel the order. Like, okay, sure, you know that it was going to take a while, but the shop was actually going to ship it on the 6th day and you didn't know that. So now, not only do you not have your shoes because you didn't persist in getting what you want, you also wasted 5 days being so anxious about when the shop was going to ship it. This is even if you have a huge goal and high expectations. If every day you do something, no matter how big or how tiny it is, to improve and move yourself little by little towards the goal, then eventually you're going to get there. Number 11, this is a bonus. Positive affirmations. This is how you actively program your thoughts by telling yourself that you're strong, you are in control, you can solve problems. We feed our mind thoughts all the time, whether we're aware of it or not. Whether it's how we see the world or what we think of other people, every thought that we have is a reflection of ourselves. So if we switch the narrative instead to be kind and gentle and accepting of our thoughts in our head, and tell yourself every day how proud you are of yourself and that nothing is too hard for you, that's how you begin to believe it in your head. If you have trouble doing this, I listen to positive affirmations and hypnotize myself all the time. I use an app called Aura, and they have affirmation tapes, hypnosis, meditation, and even coaching by therapists and psychology experts. So if you sign up with my link, I'll link it somewhere, you can get a 7-day free trial, which you can cancel at any time, and just get a free week of affirmations and therapy content and meditations and music. But if you choose to keep it after 7 days, you also get an extra 25% off discount on their subscription on top of what they're already offering on their website through my link. So yeah, if you guys want to try it out for free, try it out. And if you haven't already, you can give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like these, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I'm really appreciative of you all. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.